Hi, this is James with Topoint Archery, and today we'll be doing a basic setup of some of the equipment you can buy from Topoint. We'll be starting with the Topoint Unison riser. This riser is your standard 25-inch riser. It's great for intermediate archers who are looking to get into their first competition. Comes in colors of blue, white, red, purple, green, orange, smoke grey, and black. It has the standard tiller bolt adjustment that you find on all ILF risers of 5 turns. It also has a really easy to use limb alignment system where you simply take out this locking bolt and then underneath you turn through, which I will demonstrate later. When shooting this riser, I found it had a really good and stable feeling and was very quiet, surprisingly so, to me at least. The grip is also really nice and places your hand in the perfect position to shoot good scores. This riser also has the standard Stabiliser bushings and clicker position as well as burger hole for a plunger button. I will now demonstrate how to put in your limbs. They have the standard dovetail system that simply slides into the fitting of the limb. This will be how you can adjust the alignment of your limbs. You'll simply take out this top bolt with a metric Allen key. Make sure you use metric, otherwise you will strip the head of the bolt. And then underneath in here, there is another Allen key. You simply turn this, or you tighten it to move the limb away from you, or from the bolt, and you loosen it to move it in the opposite direction. Let's put that back now. Put in the other limb. So, our Endeavour limbs are now in our riser. These limbs, when I first shot them, I was very surprised by how quiet they were, and they still provide a decent speed at a very good price point. They're perfect for anyone just looking to get their first Olympic recurve setup, or just even a bare bow setup. They'd work quite well. They come in poundages of 18 to 40 pounds, and then just the one length of medium. They also come in a carbon foam version, which we have here. These will give you a little bit more speed and are significantly smoother actually, even though the limbs of wood are quite smooth anyway. So, when you're stringing the bow, you want to find which loop is larger, place that over your top limb. Smaller loop goes on the bottom. Make sure it's nice and taut so it doesn't slip out of the loop at the bottom. And then you get your toe point stringer, which I have here. You place the smaller notch at the top so you can slip the string over the limb, and the larger one goes over the bottom. Make sure it's firmly placed all the way on. When stringing the bow, you put both feet on the stringer and you just pull up gently so that you can slip the string over the limb tip. Make sure that it's firmly in the notch. And there we go, your bow is strung. Next we'll be putting on your Topoint Top X sight. This is a carbon bar sight that is designed for Olympic recurve style setups and will allow you to have all the bits necessary to go and shoot as an Olympic recurve archer. The way of putting the sight pin on the sight is very simple. You simply take out this bolt when it comes in the packaging, slip this into the groove as shown, and then you put the bolt back in. To mount this sight on your bow, it will come with a mounting bracket and 2 screws within the packaging. 1 screw, mounting bracket, your 2nd screw. This mounting bracket will be placed here on your bow in these 2 holes on the outside of the riser. now that your sight bracket is installed, you may simply slip your sight through the hole. And then you tighten this down when a number is present in this hole. And there you go, your sight is installed. Now, to adjust your sight, you will always move the sight in the direction of the arrow's error. So, if your arrows are going high, you will move your sight up. If the arrows are going to the left, for example, you will move your sight to the left by winding this knob clockwise or counterclockwise. In this case, the numbers go up as you wind to the left and down as you go to the right. And on the elevation bar, they go up as you go down and down as you go up. Next, we will be installing the stabilizers on this bow. So first, these are the top X stabilizers for a recurve. Here you have a 5-inch extender with your normal V-bar bracket in blue to match our lovely riser. These simply screw into the front of the riser. Long rod is your next component. These rods come in lengths of 30 inches for the front and 10 inches for the sides, as well as the 5-inch length for the extender. The long rod will go on the end, as shown. Then the side rods will simply go on each side of the V-bar bracket in the holes provided. Now that your stabilizers have been installed, you can fine-tune the balance of them by taking weights on or off. If you want to move the weights or the balance of the bow forward, you would add weight to the front. If you want to move the balance of the bow back, you would add weight to the back. With that done, we only have one more component to complete your bow setup. This is the Topoint Plunger. It's a high-quality plunger designed for Olympic recurve bows. It has your standard adjustments of tension and what is known as center shot, which is the position of the head of the plunger. To adjust the tension, you would loosen off this bolt here, and winding it in will stiffen the spring if you need to make your arrows behave stiffer. And winding it out will soften the spring if you need to make your arrows behave softer. This bolt here at the front that mounts to the riser allows you to adjust the head position of your bolt. I've set this bow up previously, so it's already in the correct position. When you're setting up your bow, you want to make sure you get the correct brace height for the bow, which is the distance between the riser and the string. Our brace height is about 21.5 centimeters, which is within the normal range. This is important because if your brace height is too low or too high, the limbs won't perform correctly. You also want to make sure the bow square that we have here is set nicely on the rest, is your knocking point. Here's a rudimentary one I tied earlier, which is just a series of knots. You want it slightly above center. Here I've got it about 3 lines above center. So here we have our fully set up bow. For reference, here are some of the other colors that this bow comes in. We have orange here, purple, and green. All of these are CNC machined, and the finish and quality of them is very nice. I see no imperfections at all, honestly. And for the price, very impressive. When I shot this bow, I was really impressed with the lack of vibration and how nicely the bow jumps out of the hand. It really wants to jump and rotate and gives you great feedback upon the shot, which would be beneficial to any intermediate archer or even beginner archers learning to shoot a bow and what a bow should feel like. It aimed very well as well. The riser seems to be very stable and stiff, and again is just quiet and there's no vibration. With your bow setup now complete, you are able to shoot. One thing is though, make sure you always shoot a bow with an arrow in it and never dry fire your bow, because that could have serious damaging effects on the limbs and the riser. Thank you for watching.